Hello! For this activity, you are going to need a piece of paper and something to color with, either a pencil, colored pencils, or crayons. If you don't have any drawing materials with you today, that's okay. You can follow along as I draw on the screen. Quinn just explained where water on Earth is stored: in the oceans, glaciers, or as groundwater. In this activity, we are going to draw how water moves from one place to another. We are going to draw the water cycle. In earth sciences, we ask questions like, where do clouds come from? Let's draw the water cycle together to find out. Okay, ready? Draw after me. Before we draw water, we need to draw the planet we live on. The planet we see is made up of air, land, and water. We live on land, where there are plants and dirt, so let's draw that first. But most of the world is made of water, like oceans and lakes. Let's draw that too. Under the plants and dirt, where we can't see, there are even more rocks and dirt and sand. Let's pretend we can see it in our drawing. Here is the dirt underground, and here is the bottom of my lake. Next, let's draw a river flowing from the top of the hill all the way down to the lake. This could be Grand River, which many of us have seen or visited. Next, let's draw the sun, nice and big, because the sun is a big part of how water moves in the water cycle. The water cycle is like a circle, with no beginning or ending spot. But we have to start somewhere, so let's start with the sun. The sun sends heat to the earth. It warms the water in the oceans and lakes. When the water gets warm, it changes into a different form. We call this form water vapor, and vapor is a gas. We call this process evaporation. When water evaporates, it rises up into the air. As the water vapor rises, it gets colder, turning the water vapor back into liquid water. This process is called condensation, and it is what causes clouds to form. Clouds are blown by the wind and can travel far distances. When the cloud gets heavy with water droplets, the water starts to fall. Whee! We see this as rain or snow, and we call this process precipitation. Rain or snow is water precipitation. When the precipitation hits the ground, water droplets can take many paths. One path is called surface flow. Water moves over top of the ground, past the plants and across sidewalks, back to the oceans and lakes where they came from. We see this as rivers and streams. Again, this is called surface flow because rivers flow over the surface of the ground. A second path is called percolation. Percolation is when water droplets sink into the ground. A droplet is small enough to slip and slide through the dirt and spaces between rocks. Again, this is called percolation. Water soaks into the ground like water soaks into a sponge. Percolation is water soaking into the ground. Once underground, the water droplets flow just like their water drop friends on the surface. That's right, water flows underground. Because the water flows through the ground, we call it groundwater flow. Groundwater can flow short distances or long distances, like from here in Waterloo, all the way to the Great Lakes, or even back to the oceans, where our adventure started. Water is always moving from one place to another in the water cycle. And the actions that help water move are now here on our page. Evaporation, condensation, precipitation, surface flow, percolation, and groundwater flow. It's a cycle, a water cycle. Thank you for watching and drawing the water cycle with me. With our water cycle drawings, I bet you can tell your friends and family the answer to our first question, where do clouds come from?